Man, look at this. Look at all of these metal boxes waiting in line. Filtering saves so much time. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Today's video will be about filtering and more specifically how to filter and what to look out for. Filtering through traffic jams has many advantages, but these next ones are the biggest reasons why you should use that special motorcycle lane. Firstly, it saves you a lot of time without adding time to the commute of car drivers. It certainly is very time saving when the traffic you're filtering through is at a standstill. On my route to my previous job, it took me 2.5 hours to get through the daily traffic jam in Antwerp and all the way back home, but on my motorcycle it took me 25 to 30 minutes. The second reason is that filtering is safer for us motorcyclists. Drivers see cars day in and day out, certainly when they're in a traffic jam. Their mind is not prepared to notice motorcycles as much. This is called a primed subject in your mind. This is why motorcyclists often get rear-ended when in the rear or in the middle of a traffic jam. In between cars, there is less of a risk of being hit, certainly when there's very slow moving traffic and cars can't change lanes as easily. Lastly, motorcycles are one less vehicle in the traffic jam when filtering. If more commuters would use a motorcycle, there would be less traffic, so really we're contributing to a better mobility for us all. But enough on why filtering is awesome, let's talk about how to filter safely. First of all, you should know the laws of the country or state you live in when it comes to filtering. Is it legal? How fast can you filter? What are other rules in relation to filtering? And if it is illegal to filter where you live, I feel very sorry for you. Next, when you start filtering, always check your mirror and shoulder to watch out for motorcyclists already filtering. This is very important. If some motorcyclist just cuts in front of you while you're filtering, you have nowhere to swerve. So if braking would be insufficient, well, that's a recipe for disaster, right? So always watch out for your fellow filtering motorcyclists. Next, keep your eyes on the front wheel of the cars. The front wheel will always tell you what the car is going to do. Even the slightest turn outwards is noticeable, and that will give you just that little bit more time to react. Sometimes car drivers want to change lanes quickly before a gap closes, so they don't always use their indicators. But the front wheel will always tell you what's going to happen. And that brings me to my next point. Watch out for empty space. Empty space is like a magnet for cars. There is a big chance that some car will move to occupy that spot because that lane moves 0.5 km per hour faster or something. And although traffic jams move slowly, people are mostly in a hurry here and hate to be stuck, so they change lanes to try to be faster. And that's when they don't see filtering motorcycles. They're in a hurry, frustrated, motorcycles aren't primed in their head, and they see an empty space in a faster lane, so they move over quickly without their indicator. Again, that's very dangerous for us, so watch out for empty spaces because they're danger zones. Next up, the mirrors. Car mirrors can be annoying when filtering because you always need to evade them when there's little room. But on the other hand, it's very good to know whether a driver sees you or not. So use car mirrors to look if there's a set of eyes looking back at you. This way you know there's less of a chance of the driver suddenly changing lanes right in front of you or beside you. The same goes for looking at if their hand is covering the indicator switch. This could also be a good indication of what their intentions are, so plan ahead accordingly. And again, this also brings me to my next point. Be conscious that drivers don't see you. As a motorcyclist, you should always ride as if nobody sees you, because really, nobody notices you're there most of the time. Car drivers see cars day in and day out, so a motorcycle is less likely to be noticed. Sometimes I see motorcyclists really getting mad at drivers for not seeing them, but there's no need for that, plus they probably really just didn't see you and they didn't mean to create a difficult situation. Besides, when you're angry and on a motorcycle, things could go sideways very quickly. So, stay calm, just understand you're invisible, show yourself to make them aware, and move on with your day. Next up, I'm a big advocate for low TED, time exposed to danger. It's better to get past an inattentive driver or a potential dangerous situation quicker. This doesn't mean that you should keep a high speed when filtering, but it does mean that you should use the bike's torque to get past situations that are potentially more dangerous to ride past slow. Keep that time you're exposed to danger low, but don't rush, stay in control and use your head. Lastly, I would like to mention that it's good to practice slow speed maneuvering. While filtering in dense traffic, Being capable at slow speed maneuvering makes things a lot easier and more fluent. And besides this, always wear proper gear for if things don't go as planned. Alright everyone, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it and that I helped some riders out, and if so, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like and a comment. See you in the next one, and ride safe!